Welcome back, English learners. Welcome to another explainer where we take complex, real-world stories and break them down. Not only will you truly understand what's happening, but we are also going to build your advanced English vocabulary today. Today, we are looking at a dramatic, highly contested event in Delhi involving a 59-year-old activist and a massive online movement. We'll unpack the sudden removal of Sonam Wangchuk from his protest site and the ripple effects happening right now. It is a fantastic opportunity to learn vocabulary related to news, politics, and social movements. So grab your notebooks, get comfortable, and let's dive right in. To start, let's look at this powerful statement. Just days before the police intervened, Sonam Wangchuk stood before a crowd at the historic 300-year-old Janta Party observation in Delhi. Despite growing incredibly frail, he told his supporters that their planned march to the parliament would happen no matter what. He joked, "If I die before the march, my ghost will join the march." Let's break down the word frail. F-R-A-I-L. It's an adjective that means very weak or delicate, especially from illness or extreme conditions. A good synonym would be feeble. You might say, the rescued animal was too frail to walk. In this context, his words show his intense, unwavering dedication. That's another great adjective, unwavering, meaning steady and completely resolute.
So, what led up to that moment? For 20 days, Wangchuk sat in the scorching Indian summer heat protesting. Scorching is a fantastic adjective. It means extremely hot. You want to just say very hot. If you want to sound advanced, you say scorching. For example, we couldn't stay outside in the scorching heat. For 20 days, he consumed absolutely nothing but salt and water. The physical toll was severe. Let's look at the phrase, take a toll. This means to cause damage or suffering over a period of time. For instance, working night shifts can take a huge toll on your health. Reports indicate he lost more than 9 kilograms, but he refused to end his indefinite hunger strike. But a peaceful protest can turn into absolute chaos in an instant. On Saturday morning, just before 7:30 a.m. local time, dozens of police and paramilitary personnel swooped in. Swoop in is an excellent phrasal verb. It means to suddenly and quickly arrive, often to take action or seize something, much like a bird catching its prey. For example, the larger companies swooped in to buy the failing startup. Notice the grammar we are using when discussing his removal. Wangchuk was covered with dead sheets and was whisked away. We use the passive voice here because the focus is on what happened to him, not necessarily on the specific individuals who did it. Protesters who tried to form a barrier were simply pushed away.
Section 1. The context, the Cockroach Janta Party. This standoff didn't just happen overnight. The tension traces back to early May, when a critical entrance exam for aspiring doctors was abruptly canceled following a massive paper leak. This cancellation was the catalyst. A catalyst is an event or person that causes great change or action. For example, the new principal was a catalyst for positive changes at the school. Fast forward to late June. Wangchuk begins his extreme salt and water fast to demand accountability. Then we hit the Saturday police intervention, with all of this building toward a massive planned march to the parliament scheduled for July 20th.
At the heart of this timeline is the CJP, or the Cockroach Janta Party. It began in May as an online satirical movement. Let's focus on satirical. It means using humor, irony, or exaggeration to criticize people or systems. The protesters proudly refer to themselves as cockroaches. This is a tongue-in-cheek nod to their resilience. Tongue-in-cheek is a wonderful idiom. It describes something meant to be funny or ironic, not taken entirely seriously. For instance, he made a tongue-in-cheek remark about how much he loves paying taxes. But while the name is satirical, their purpose is deeply serious, and they have managed to gain a massive following.
So what exactly do they want? Before the Saturday raid, the movement had clear demands. First, they wanted to highlight the systemic exam paper leaks. A quick grammar note here. A common learner mistake is confusing systemic with systematic. Systemic means affecting the whole system from the inside out like a disease. Systematic, on the other hand, means doing something carefully according to a plan. Here, the leaks are systemic, deeply rooted in the educational system. Second, they demanded the resignation of the education minister. And third, they called for the government to take broad moral responsibility. Section 2. A dispute over health and state action.
What followed was a massive clash of narratives. Let's look at some contrasting vocabulary used by both sides. The government and the police framed the Saturday swoop as a legally compliant, much-needed medical intervention. An intervention is an action taken to intentionally improve or help a difficult situation. But if you talk to the opposition and the protesters, they describe it as coercive state violence. Coercive is an advanced adjective. It means using force or threats to make someone do something against their will. For example, the dictator used coercive tactics to maintain control. So, we have two completely different ways to describe the exact same event.
Let's look closely at the official justification. The Deputy Commissioner of Police stated clearly that Wangchuk was moved to a government hospital for much-needed medical intervention and was under medical supervision. The authorities actually pointed to a Delhi High Court order from that very Thursday. This order legally required the federal government to monitor his health. We call this type of order a mandate, an official command or commission to do something. From a law enforcement perspective, they were simply following a legal mandate to save a man's life. But the dispute extends right into the hospital ward. A hospital official reported that Wangchuk was fully alert and stable, experiencing mild dehydration. Contrast that with a statement from his wife. She took to social media to firmly demand that absolutely nothing be administered, meaning officially given or applied like medicine, without explicit consent. Explicit means stated clearly and in detail, leaving absolutely no room for confusion. For example, I gave you explicit instructions to lock the door. She wanted explicit consent from her, his family, and his private doctors.
Meanwhile, the political temperature is only rising. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has publicly dismissed the protesters, labeling them the B team of disruptive elements. Disruptive means causing trouble and stopping an event or process from continuing normally. Up until the Saturday raid, the government had opted to keep the protesters at arm's length. To keep someone at arm's length is a brilliant idiom. It means to avoid becoming too friendly or too closely involved with someone or something. Example, I like my neighbors, but I keep them at arm's length to maintain my privacy. The political divide is widening rapidly, with the opposition loudly taking the side of the students. Arvind Kejriwal, a prominent opposition leader, appealed to the government, saying, "Every year exam papers get leaked, and youth pay the price." To pay the price is a strong everyday expression. It means to experience the bad result of something you or someone else has done. For instance, if you skip your English practice, you will pay the price during the exam. Kejriwal even demanded that the current education minister be replaced by Wangchuk himself.
Section 3. The march goes on. Now it's time for our vocabulary builder section, where we expand on the themes. Let's look at how the movement is adapting. CJP founder Abhijit Deepke has stepped up to fill the void. To fill a void means to replace someone or something that is suddenly missing. For example, when the lead actor fell ill, the understudy stepped in to fill the void. Deepke mentioned that police had tried to detain him. To detain means to keep someone in official custody, usually for questioning. But he has now successfully taken over Wangchuk's position and initiated his own indefinite fast. The state's intervention did not quiet the movement, it actually amplified their anger. Let's look at the word escalate. It means to increase rapidly or to become much more serious. For example, the minor disagreement quickly escalated into a shouting match. The CJP's demands have escalated, following what they call a despicable act, meaning incredibly bad, unacceptable, or deserving of hatred. They have escalated to demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself. Now it is time for our reading practice and shadowing exercise. This is crucial for your pronunciation. I will read a quote from Abhijit Deepke at a normal pace, and then I'll read it slower so you can repeat after me. Ready? Normal speed. If they think that taking Wangchuk away will end this movement, they are mistaken. We will remain here and will march to Parliament on 20 July. Okay, now shadow me. Repeat out loud right now. If they think that taking Wangchuk away will end this movement, they are mistaken. We will remain here and will march to Parliament on 20 July. Great job. They clearly intend to keep pushing forward. Which brings us to our conclusion and takeaways. The July 20th March to Parliament is looming. With its most prominent face hospitalized and the founder now taking up the fast in his place, what is the future of this movement? Will the government finally engage, or are we on a collision course for even more unrest? It's a complex situation, but today you learned some fantastic vocabulary: frail, swoop in, catalyst, systemic, and great idioms like keep at arm's length. For your homework, I want you to write 3 sentences in the comments using any of the new words we covered today. Don't forget to like this explainer, subscribe for more lessons, and download my free lesson PDF linked in the description to review all of today's vocabulary. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep practicing your English, and I will see you next time.